Okay, so we're going to talk about rolling averages. What's an average? An average is where you take a group of numbers and find a common value that's sort of middle of the road between them all, right? We're going to use averages when we don't have a consistent trend across the weeks, right? I used to use rolling averages quite a bit when I worked at the Radisson on the south side. We had a big Sunday brunch. So I would look at what were the last 8 or 10 Sundays and what were our cover numbers, right? So that would help me forecast, okay, the last, we had an average of 500 customers coming in for brunch over the last 8 or 10 Sundays. That would lead me to believe that I'm going to have about 500 more coming in unless I do something different, unless I put on a promotion or there's a special day in there like Easter Sunday or something like that, right? So we use, like I said, we use rolling averages when no trend is consistent across the weeks. We calculate it simply by how we do a normal calculation of averages. Now this slide, it has C1, C2, C3 plus Cn. So that's telling us we're going to take three numbers, your first customer count, your second customer count, and your third customer count, and then you're going to divide by 3. You have 3 numbers or 3 counts, you're going to divide by 3. If you have 4 counts, you divide by 4. That's how we get an average, right? So I have an example. In the example, business forecasts using rolling averages over 4 weeks. The guest count for the past 4 weeks has been 418, 437, 398, and 414. So what's the forecast for the upcoming week? Well, we take our 418 plus 437 plus 398 plus 414 to give us a total of, my calculator working here, 418 plus 437 plus 398 plus 414 gives us a total of 1667. So over the 4 weeks, we had 1,667 guests come in, and it was out of 4 weeks. So we divide by 4, and we get up with an average customer count of 417. So you see, on the first week, we didn't do that. We did better than that by 1. The second week, we did a lot better. But then the third week, we dropped down a bit, and then we came back up, right? So on average, we were doing about 417 each week. So this, combined with some qualitative data, can lead us to believe, or we can set a number of what we believe is going to happen for the following week. Okay? So once we have that number, we can adjust our initial forecast based on qualitative data. Remember, qualitative data was things that are happening outside, right? Or inside, right? We can have a promotion going on. We can have, bad weather. We could have a convention in our hotel that's increasing our numbers, right? So just because we have that rolling average of 417 doesn't mean we're going to do 417. We have to take that 417 and then add some experience to it. Oh, the hotel's full. We have 100% occupancy. If we look back at the occupancy for the last 4 weeks, we did those numbers with only 50% full, right? So we're going to look to adjust that 417 based on things that are going on, right? And we're going to keep adjusting as new data comes in. We can't forecast the weather a month out, right? As much as we'd love to try, we can't. So we have to adjust that on a weekly basis, even daily sometimes. Because if we have a weekly forecast adjustment, then we can adjust our schedule. We can add more people, we can take off more people, right? We can control our costs a lot more efficiently, right? We want to forecast 1 to 2 weeks out for employee scheduling and 2 to 3 days out for ordering. 1 day out for kitchen production, right? We want to be producing our food quite timely, right? 1 day out. We always want to constantly compare the forecasts to our actual count and learn from mistakes and how to make more accurate forecasts in the future. This is how we're going to know if that 417 is going to go up by another 50 or only up by 20, depending on what the weather is, right? We're going to, by comparing our actual to our forecast, we're going to see, well, how much difference did the weather make? If it was a nice day, we can add 10 covers versus 50 covers, right? So we need to always compare what we did to what we forecast so that we can get better at what that qualitative data will do to our quantitative data, right? How much will the weather affect our historical rolling average or trending numbers that we got. All right,